We have details as the workers say some state institutions are complicit in the illegal sale of the lands. Will stay a while longer at the airport. We are told that they've granted tax and duty exemptions of over 6.2 million Ghana cedis on imported goods to 7 institutions, including the Electoral Commission and Health Ministry, without parliamentary approval. We have details of that 2019 Auditor General's report. And as we build up to the Joy News Imani Africa minority political debates, tomorrow, the PNC is promising to improve security and make highway robbery a thing of the past if voted into power.
We are going to put in place a paramilitary organization that will be solely for fighting off people who are on the highway. And we are going to deploy helicopter gunships for them.
You'll have helicopters flying all over the country?
We'll hear from its flag bearer David Apasara. Later, we hear the campaign trail on your election headquarters as Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia continues his tour of the Ashanti region, confident of NPP's victory, while former President Mahama is promising a massive salt industry in the central region.
And in business, domestic carrier Africa World Airlines rolls out strategies for its passengers following the recent disruptions at the Kotoka International Airport.
And in sports,
Sports Ministry acknowledges error in omitting National Paralympic Committee of Ghana from membership of the 2023 African Games LOC. NPC Ghana now has a nomination, but with conditions. I bring you reactions when I join you much later with sports.
And later, President Akufo-Addo confers on Presec Legon, the undisputed kings of Ghana's science and math quiz as they prepare to grab their 7th title.
Indeed, winning your 6th title means that you are now the undisputed kings of the National Science and Maths Quiz competition.
We have that and more in this edition of Newsnight. Please join us with your thoughts and comments. It's via WhatsApp. It's 055-11-11997. If you're watching via Facebook also, you can leave your comments there. I am Emefa Apawu.
And my name is Mensah. Well, tonight's course of domestic airline passengers are stranded at the Kotoka International Airport as workers of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority withdraw essential services over encroachment and illegal sale of aviation lands that they've alleged. They say the Lands Commission and the Lands Ministry are complicit in this illegality. Another allegation they've thrown up today.
Now, in an interview with Joy News, spokesperson for the coalition of GCAA workers, William Amwakun, stated that the activities of the encroachers on the lands at Ashalibuche cantonment around the AU village and East Legon are causing interruptions in air traffic control communications. We'll be hearing from him shortly. But first, Maxwell joins us in studio, and he's been following this particular story for us. Evans. So, Maxwell, first off, you have some of the messages from the stranded passengers. What are they saying?
Well, a lot of them are complaining that they are unable to move. They've been on the tarmac for some hours now. In fact, information we're getting from the Kotoka International Airport indicates that some part of it, is congested at this point, as a lot of the passengers, are they unable to move. Some of the messages we received from some of the travelers, we have this one here. It says, Africa World must learn to treat Ghanaians with some dignity and respect. Why keep passengers on board a stationary aircraft with face masks when you are well aware staff of Ghana Airport Company are on strike and will not allow domestic flights? We are told Ghana Airport staff are on strike and allowing only international flights.
Okay, interesting. Now, you also have with you a copy of a notice sent to some of the airline companies about the strike. What does it say?
Well, this notice was on copy this notice. We have Africa World Airlines, we have Passion Air, we have Air Ghana, and then a couple of other airline companies. And it says notice to airlines and the general public dated 12 October 2020. It says, we regret to inform you that staff of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority GCAA may embark on an action to withdraw some essential services, including air traffic services, from Wednesday, 14th October 2020 to demand the return of lands taken away from the authority. It continues to say this has become necessary after exhausting all relevant avenues. The statement continues to say the reallocation or sale of land strictly meant for aviation purposes to private developers poses serious safety concerns to the aviation industry. You would recall that some of your flights have been experiencing occasional breakdown in communication with air traffic control due to constant interference and heavy background noise on some of our frequencies since October 2020. In fact, in the concluding part of the statement, it listed some persons the workers say should be held accountable should there be any accident or serious incident. And we have Madam Cecilia Dapa, who is the immediate past Minister for Aviation in there, Joseph Kofiada, who is the current Minister for Aviation also in there, and then the Minister for Lands, and then we have the immediate past Director General of the GCAA, and a couple of others in there.
You've been interacting with the spokesperson of the Coalition of GCAA Workers, William Nyako. He signed this particular statement.
Exactly.
What has he been telling you?
Well, he says the activities of the encroachers is having great impact on their work, and many times you have the airline companies themselves complaining about interruptions, in some of the communications, air traffic control, communications. And he's saying that until a concrete action is taken on this matter, they will continue with the strike.
The reason why we are passionate about it is that it threatens flight operations and our own operations. So indirectly, the safety, it raises a lot of safety concerns. Yeah, we have 2 parcels of land, one at La Nkwantanai, which is about 614 acre land, and one at La Wireless, we call it La TS. That is where our transmitters are located. That's about 61 acres of land. Initially, it was about 92 acres. About 30 of it was taken for the AU village. It's left with 61, and this 61 has our equipment on them. We have our equipment there, and that is why we are raising concern. And the other land is at the La Nkwantanai one is 640, also around the Esarabuchi Road. So basically, similar thing is also going on there. Encroaching, and our investigations have revealed that it is the Lands Commission that has virtually sold the land to some private individuals as well as maybe some organizations at both La Nkwantanai and La TS. They are very complicit in this, in the Land Commission and the Ministry of Lands. They are the reason why we are at this stage. We have various equipment, VR, NDBs, ILS, and the rest. And the installation of these things are very vital. And there are requirements for this installation. So when you have interferences or maybe work going on around these structures, they create interferences and noise. And these are picked in our transmission. So you cannot communicate effectively with pilots. And that is very dangerous. And also, if you allow high-rising buildings around these facilities, they block signals. And when they block signals, it means the signals cannot be received. Sure. Yeah.
I'll come to the high-rise buildings. Have you received any complaint from some airline companies about this situation and how it's difficult sometimes getting signals?
Yes, and just about last week ago, we have received a lot of complaints from some airlines about the difficulty in communicating with us. And not only complaints, but at a certain time, our system, some of our frequencies went off the air for a period. So we have to, normally when it happens like that, we have to gather our engineers around to ensure that they quickly resolve the matters.
We've been receiving a lot of calls in the journey show about how high-rise buildings are springing up within the East Legon enclave, very close to the tunnel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've received those complaints and what danger does that pose to aircraft.
Yeah, we've been receiving these complaints a lot. And, we have one of our major equipments there. We call it VR, very high omnidirectional range. And this facility, I don't know how to explain it in simple terms, but it's one of our homing devices. Aircraft log on it, it gives them bearing and direction, and so it's a very vital equipment. And it has a strict requirements for installation. When you install this equipment, even the first 300 meters radius, you don't have to leave anything there. If even I'm the one going to do repairs on this facility, I have to park my car beyond the 300-meter radius. The next 600 to even 2 kilometers, you cannot do certain things there. Metallic or certain things that can radiate radiomagnetic waves and the rest. So there are strict requirements. So when you have high-rise buildings which block some of these signals, it affects the reception and everything. And for that matter, that's why a lot of people complain, and the airlines complain as well.
Okay, so Maxwell, you got in touch with the Africa World Airlines on this developing situation. What have they been saying to you?
Well, they are not willing to speak to the issues now. They told us that they'll be releasing a statement. We're still waiting for that statement from Africa World Airlines on the situation at the KIA.
You've also tried to reach the leadership of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority and other parties involved in this matter. Any responses on them? In
fact, all of them are not answering their phones, but we are picking information that the Deputy Interior Minister is actually on the ground right now at the KIA. The Aviation Minister is also there. The Labour Minister is also there together with other stakeholders. They are on the ground trying to resolve the issue as we speak now.
But Maxwell, you've been to this area in question. I mean, you've been already working on a detailed report on these lands that apparently allegedly had been sold to private developers. What have you cited? What did you see when you went there?
Well, some of it heartbreaking, especially yesterday when we visited the land just around the Quantanan area around Ashalibuchi. We saw that some persons are actually putting up structures very, very close to aircraft monitoring, installations there, with complete disregard for any safety protocol at all. In fact, when we visited East Legon, some persons had already raised concerns. You could see that people actually putting up high-rise structures directly under the flight path, and you ask yourself, okay, what is going on here? And when we speak to the GCA, they raised all those concerns. Evans.
I see. Okay, Maxwell, thank you very much for that. Let's get onto the phone lines now and speak to the acting Deputy General Secretary of the Public Service Workers Union of the Ghana Trade Union Congress, John Sampa, speaks for the GCAA workers who laid down their tools tonight. Mr. Sampa, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Hello, thank you.
Great.
Good evening.
Good evening. So this just to clarify, this decision to lay down your tools only affects domestic flights.
Yes, please.
You have no intention of scaling this up to affect international flights.
Well, there are levels of activities, and it takes a gradual process. But for now, it is to domestic flights.
Okay, and why so?
Well, also because we want to give opportunity. It tells you that the workers want the matter to be resolved, and not necessarily to bring the nation to a halt. And so we have started it gradually, and we believe that if our petition receives attention, we shouldn't get to the international flight.
You say in your statement that flights have been experiencing occasional breakdown in communication with air traffic control.
Yeah.
That sounds to me, so somebody who already has a flying phobia, that it's pretty serious. Your authorities don't know about this?
Well, it's quite serious. The authorities are aware about this. In fact, even the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority has written to the Aviation Minister communicating the same thing, including even when last week the President was actually even in the air, there was communication challenges. So we think that the construction activities over there is tampering with communication equipment on the ground. And that is the seriousness of the matter.
This breakdown in communication, is it only affecting domestic flights or international flights coming in as well?
It affects all, not only one. But while you are trying to call attention, it was a decision of the workers that they will start from domestic flight before it escalates to the international flight.
Has there been any attempt by the authorities since you decided to lay down your tools today to engage you on this at all?
Well, the managing director tried to persuade the workers. He called the workers a meeting, but the workers were resolute and straightforward on their demand. as we are speaking now, the aviation minister, the labor minister, and the deputy national security minister, they are all around persuading the workers actually to call the strike off. The position is that 3 months ago, similar incident happened, and the national security minister himself was there, aviation minister was there, and they set a committee, and for 3 months, nothing actually came out of it. And they rather saw private developers intensifying their operation and to capture all the land. So they decided that they have to take this action.
Now, so for you as workers, what exactly will be a concrete resolution to this matter? Because I know you're making a number of demands, including the encroachment of your lands. So what exactly are you demanding for a concrete resolution to this issue?
Okay. So these lands we are talking about, government have lease on them. It was acquired by executive instrument for aviation purposes. Now, what they are asking is that the government should make those lands available and stop private developers from encroaching it.
So which lands in particular? We've talked about the Ashalibuche and Lankwantanan, but you, the workers, know these lands. Where exactly are these lands?
We are talking about both lands, which were acquired by executive instrument, the TS and then the Lankwantanan.
So you've been in discussions, like you were telling Evans a while ago. Where are we exactly with it? We know that the aviation minister is there currently, the labor minister, and then the Ghana Airport Company and the rest of them. What exactly are we? Where exactly are we with these discussions?
Well, for the past 1 hour, there has not been any resolution. They are pleading with the workers. And the point is that it's not just the workers' leadership, but they are meeting with all the workers. I mean, over 100 workers are gathered over here, trying to talk with all of them, and all of them are saying that they support their leadership decision, and in fact they are not ready. I believe that there may be a resolution. What they are looking forward is perhaps a higher authority giving certain directives, and that when that directive is given, they believe that it will be respected. And we are all involved in the discussion, and we are believing that we should be able to find a amicable solution to this.
Thank you very much. And that's John Sampa. He's the Acting Deputy General Secretary of the Public Service Workers Union. That's the PSWU of the Ghana Trades Union Congress. Evans, we'll stay a while longer at the airport because we're told that the Ghana Airport Company has granted tax and duty exemptions of over 6.2 million Ghana cedis to 7 organizations, including the Electoral Commission and Ministry of Health, without parliamentary approval.
Well, this is in the 2019 Auditor General's report. The acting Auditor General Johnson Asiedu asked sector commanders at the airport's collection office to ensure that parliamentary approval letters which gave authority for the exemptions amounting to over 7.1 million cedis are provided for his inspection. You have details of this. Let's go through. What are the details of this exactly in this report?
So according to the Auditor General's 2019 report on MDAs, the overall financial impact of weaknesses and irregularities identified in the course of the audit amounted to over 3 billion Ghana cedis. Now, the Acting Auditor General Johnson Asiedu indicated that they will investigate these matters further and, where appropriate, disallow any items of expenditure that were contrary to law and surcharge responsible officials accordingly.
There are also records of some infractions by some of the agencies. First, what did the report say about the Kotoka International Airport?
So at the collection office of the KIA, the auditors noted that from a sample of entities that exemptions from the payment of duty and tax totaling 6.2 million Ghana cedis was granted on imported goods without parliamentary approval, Evans. Now, Electoral Commission, for instance, was given exemptions of up to 1.4 million Ghana cedis on goods imported. The Ministry of Health, on the other hand, were also granted exemptions to the tune of 2.4 million Ghana cedis. Now, there are other companies. Amandi Energy Limited was given 1.8 million Ghana cedis Authentics International, 104,000 Ghana cedis. And then the Ministry of Local Government was given 17,000 Ghana cedis. And then the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, was given over 338,000 Ghana cedis.
So what is the Auditor General recommending?
So the Auditor General is urging the sector commanders to ensure that parliamentary approval letters, which gave authority for the exemptions amounting to 7.1 million Ghana cedis, are provided for inspection. In the absence of that, the exempted amount should be recovered from the entities involved.
Well, after 6 successful elections in the fourth republic, many Ghanaians yearn for a real third force which could break the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. While the two parties grow stronger, the chances of other political parties such as the Convention People's Party, the People's National Congress, and the Progressive People's Party, all of these parties will be on the Joy News Imani Ghana minority political parties debate. But the chances of these parties, they continue to remain bleak, mainly due to financial and logistical constraints. So
ahead of the December polls, your election headquarters puts the lenses on the minority parties and assesses their prospects beyond the latent roles they play in pushing elections into runoffs. We start from the camp of the PNC. Manuel Cranting reports.
Founded by ex-President Hilary Liman in 1992 as Ghana returned to multi-party democracy, the People's National Convention was set up as a vehicle that would hopefully deliver the presidency back to Liman after the 1981 coup.
I call on all in the true spirit of patriotism to come together as one united country.
Unlike his performance in both rounds of the 1979 elections which won him the presidency, Hilary Liman, who led the PNC in 1992, managed 6.7% of total ballots cast, winning in only 5 constituencies across 3 regions. In contrast to his plan of recapturing power, Liman's abysmal show in 1992 will set a tone for the performance of the PNC in subsequent elections. In 1996, the party fielded a new flag bearer, Edward Nasigui Mahama. Over the years, Edward Mahama's mantra on job creation did not help the PNC garner the much-needed votes.
My campaign theme is New Beginning, New Deal, New Force. The new force, I'm looking at the 18 to 35-year-old.
The party made several attempts at merging with other Nkrumah's parties, but Admona, who was party chairman at the time, was optimistic.
We have already initiated processes talking with the Progressive People's Party. We are also talking with the Convention People's Party. They are serious with mobilizing like minds so that we can have a united front.
Having failed to secure that merger, what political scientists argue could give a real chance to a third force in Ghana's elections, newly elected flag bearer of the party, David Apasera, is calling for renewed confidence in the party ahead of the 2020 polls.
I am going to work hard and let Ghanaians know that PNC is a vehicle that can carry you to the Jubilee House.
Well, okay, so that is the story of one of the minority political parties, and expect more of these in the coming days. But the flag bearer of the PNC, David Apasera, has been speaking to give Tiando Apia on the pause ahead of tomorrow's minority political parties debate exclusively on the Joy News channels and on Joy FM as well, in partnership with Imani Ghana. He says his party will roll out a comprehensive strategy away from what he describes as conventional policing to deal with crime.
Unless you bring in a new thing, that old system that we have worked with, we are failing. We are failing because the armed robbers are everywhere. And I was even attacked. We have a program. We are going to put in place a paramilitary organization that will be solely for fighting off people who are on the highway. And we are going to have their bases all over the regions, and we are going to deploy helicopter gunships for them. That if people are stranded here, they give a call, the next moment you have the helicopter on top there with well-trained security personnel. That will,
you have helicopters flying all over the country?
Certainly from every region you should have a base. And when you have a base there and you have your helicopter there, you can't run on the ground to save people.
If there are 5 armed robbery cases in one particular region,
but you cannot,
deploy all.
Yeah, even if you have 5 armed robbery cases. And once the helicopter is in the air, and the armed robbers on the ground know that the helicopter is in the air, they will leave the people around for their dear lives. But if you say that Police will use a siren. By the time they get there, the people have found their way out, and then the innocent people would have suffered. Apart from that, there must be a system, and I believe that what we are going to bring on board, armed robbery, highway armed robbery, will be a thing of the past.
So he's also been telling us why the minority political parties cannot unite and emerge stronger to win political power. For him, greed is a major factor.
I have some friends who are even in the bigger parties, and I've told them, look, come on board PNC, and then we fight it together. I say that, and they can as well talk to me that way. But I don't think that is a reason why we cannot unite. I think that we are not uniting because we don't want to, and we have some selfish kind of tendencies within us that's preventing us. If you tell me dissolve your party and come, you don't want unity. If you tell me, look, let's put our cards on the table and then we bargain. If you take this, I take this. That is where we talk about unity.
So
but
selfishness.
If you say, yes, I think so.
Selfishness is what is preventing the minority political parties to
either
come
selfishness
together.
or we are not too serious about what we want. If we want unity, then we must say that all cards are on the table for unity.
Well, his frankness, though, about this subject is pretty refreshing. But more of such very controversial, say it as it is, blunt, sessions tomorrow on the debate that is from 8 p.m. Listen, that debate is the brainchild of Imani, and they're just joining us now for a conversation on this. That's the founding president of Imani Africa joins us on the line right now, Franklin Kujo. Grateful that you could join us tonight. I mean, you listened to him about the impact of the minority political parties, and he himself admits that greed has been a factor in why they haven't been, there's no third force, they haven't been as an important factor in the electoral landscape. What for you, some say, you look at that, his own admission, why should we be giving them a platform to even talk in the first place?
Well, good evening, Evans. Good evening to your colleague. And I think, clearly speaking, the challenges of a third force has been one of the drawbacks in this our multi-party democracy that we've been trying to build. I suspect that the conversations about greed pretty much within the fiber of every Ghanaian. Every human being is greedy anyway, except that when on this particular score, when the rallying call to be able to provide alternative to the duopoly that we have is on the table, then it means it's urgent really. Unfortunately, not everyone sees that what Mr. Passera is seeing. So we can excuse the naivety and then hope that one day there will be a third force worthy to be called so.
I mean, tomorrow we're going to have the key ones on the same stage. 5 presidential aspirants for these very important minority political parties, PNC, CPP, PPP, ACP, and others on the same stage. It's important in this time of our democracy, is it not? I mean, to hear that side, to hear what they have to offer. We just heard some fascinating thoughts from 3 political parties already this week as we build up. And you hear what they are offering, and you wonder, why are we hearing more of this?
Without a doubt, I suspect maybe the unison that they are clamoring for will be felt tomorrow on that stage, because ultimately the background to the questions will be what the 2 leading parties had been promising, and certainly what the 5 parties will be doing differently. Let's not be surprised. Don't be surprised if tomorrow you hear similar views, even though there may be differences in some of the opinions. I see an electrifying debate, especially because some of the presidential candidates we're having tomorrow have made rather unique and bold promises, really, and we'll be putting them to the test, really, tomorrow.
What should people expect? I mean, what form will this take tomorrow?
Well, as usual, I mean, we'll have you and your able sidekick do the questioning, And essentially, we'll be looking at the cross-sectorial issues, really. I mean, we'll be looking at issues about economic recovery from COVID. We'll be looking at issues related to debt management. We'll be looking at issues related to infrastructure. We'll look at issues related to the economy generally. But more so, we'll be basing some of the questions on their manifestos, some of the things they've said. Not all of them have their manifestos yet, but at least they've made policy statements, and they'll be questioned as to whether the policy statement they've made or the promises they've made would hold water. But essentially, what they are going to do differently from the two parties they are vigorously planning to unseat. And since you'll be in the armchair, you and Emefa, then clearly you'll be the arbiters of the evening encounter. And I think it will be interesting. Already, almost all the candidates are arbit. As you can see on our platform, they're already getting very heavy and then lively already. I've spoken to some of them, and they sound very, very, very happy. They're looking forward to it, really.
And tomorrow we're doing something unique from what we did when we did the independent candidates debate, which is now we're having live audience reaction, questions, and social media participation as well, all brought into play.
Without a doubt, we've asked people to send questions. That has not necessarily been encouraging, and so maybe we may have to adapt and see if we could call people from the audience. But trust me, the questions we have are fairly representative of the Ghanaian.
That is Franklin Kojo. It's tomorrow, 8 to 10:30 p.m.
This Thursday, the minority political parties will face off. Hassan Ayariga, APC, Ivor Greenstreet, CPP, David Apasira, PNC, Bridget Tugbenuku, PPP, Kofi Akpalu, LPG. One night, 5 presidential candidates on one stage in a fierce exchange of ideas in the Joy News and Imani Africa Minority Political Parties Debate, 8 to 10:30 p.m. Thursday, 15th October, live from the UPSA campus, only on Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, Love 99.5 FM, online at myjoyonline.com, and across our social media platforms.
And George Affe is here with business. Hello, George.
Hi, Ivan. And some domestic operators or airlines set to resume flights from tomorrow after operations were disrupted today because of a strike by workers of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, and 2 billion Ghana cedis guarantee scheme for businesses finally takes off. We'll be getting you more details on that one. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Agnes, would you be my girlfriend? Agnes, would you please be my girlfriend? Okay, let's call her.
If you like the caller tune you're about to listen to, press star 1 to copy now.
Express yourself with your caller tune and win big with MTN. Simply dial star 1355 hash and download your favorite caller tune, or copy or renew your already existing caller tune and stand the chance of winning up to 1,000 CDs weekly, 4,000 CDs monthly, and the grand prize of 15,000 CDs in the MTN Caller Tunes promo. Send stars to 1355 or dial star 1355 hash to subscribe today. We're good together. We did for you everywhere you go.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks, and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and
and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST Campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
We know it's important to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in your employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is regulated and licensed by the National Health Insurance Authority to provide medical insurance services to institutional clients, families, and individuals. Apex Student Package and International Medical Solutions are all here to cushion you. Visit Apex Health Insurance Office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, or call
0501 683 914
or 0232 000 In Kumasi, we are located opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and in Takrady, Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
My guy, it's been a while.
My guy, I'm looking for a safe place in Ghana where I can invest after losing all that money last year. I know you are the investigation minister.
Currently, if you're looking for a safe and dependable fund manager, then it's EDCU. They are the investment banking subsidiary of EcoBank Group, and their fixed income unit trust is the biggest collective investment scheme right here in Ghana. It has generated returns above the treasury bill rate since its inception. You can access your funds anytime without penalties.
Hey, really?
Yes. Access their services at any EcoBank branch. Call 0302-634165 or WhatsApp them on 0595-235065. Also, you can conveniently fund your account using mobile money on all networks, internet banking, or EcoBank mobile app, and many more.
Thank you, Akwesi. I'll call them right away.
Hey, not even a bye-bye. With EDC, financial independence is possible. Terms and conditions apply.
My buddy, why you for just the watch when you can be wild proper? When you for scream, shout, cheer and kata, put your body, get down, fire your body, catch views, drop the mic. Ghana, the time cut where we for change the way we watch. Welcome to Showmatch and to Chow Online Entertainment, from movies and series to sports like EPL and La Liga. Feel it from Super Sport and more. You feel enjoy them on any device, anytime. Visit showmatch.com today. Let's lucky.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, some domestic carriers say they'll resume shuttle operations from tomorrow after initial disruptions today. According to some of them, they have not been officially notified about this planned strike by workers of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. African World Airlines was one of the carriers affected. Let's hear from its Chief Operating Officer, Sean Mendes.
Due to air traffic control issues, which delayed flights beyond the closing hours of Kumasi and Tamale Airport. Unfortunately, we've had to cancel 2 flights to Kumasi and 1 flight to Tamale this afternoon. At this time, we are planning to operate all our flights as normal tomorrow.
And that's the Chief Operating Officer of Africa World Airlines, Sean Mendes. Now, a 2 billion Ghana cedis guarantee scheme to support local businesses affected by COVID-19 has finally been launched. Now, this was part of several initiatives announced by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the media review aimed at actually supporting businesses. Speaking at the launch, First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Masoud Pokuafari, said this should go a long way to help reduce the cost of borrowing.
It is my fervent belief that this guarantee scheme under the Ghana Cares program will go a long way to reduce the risk perception of these SMEs, help reduce their cost of borrowing, and increase their access to appropriate financing. This in turn should enable them to produce more to meet both local demand and to provide decent livelihoods to households that depend on them. It is therefore my wish and that of the Bank of Ghana that all qualified SMEs will take advantage of this timely and innovative policy intervention when the framework which has already been developed is fully operationalized under the supervision of GESEL to help sustain and grow their businesses in support of the national effort to restore and place the economy on a path of faster growth and development post-COVID-19.
Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afare is the first Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Let's still stay on banking-related issue because the Bank of Ghana has been adjudged the Central Bank of the Year in the prestigious Global Central Banking Awards. The Bank of Ghana bid of competition from more than 100 central banks that were reviewed by the awards committee. Now, this is the highest of all the 25 awards that were presented to some individuals and institutions via a virtual platform. Let's hear the citation accompanying the award read by Chris Jeffrey is editor-in-chief of the Central Banking and chairman of the Central Banking Awards Committee.
Central Bank's impressive record of achievement included a bold and brave effort to reform a poorly managed and significantly undercapitalized banking and microfinance sector. Improvements to bank and financial stability oversight have coincided with this central bank gaining a much firmer grip on inflation, launching new currency denominations, and improving its communications via a new website. Central Bank of the Year is Bank of Ghana. Many congratulations to Governor Ernest Addison and his team at Bank of Ghana.
The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, responding to the award, dedicated it to the staff of the Bank of Ghana.
The successful execution of our monetary policy and financial sector reforms and subsequent turnaround in the economy, which this award duly recognizes, has been due to the hard work of the whole Bank of Ghana team, comprising the board, management, and staff. Let me mention the support I got from my very able and efficient deputies and heads of departments. The bank also received invaluable support from the Monetary Policy Committee and other key collaborative institutions, including the Ministry of Finance and the Economic Management team in the pursuit of its policies and programs.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. The awards also saw former Bank of England Governor Makani being adjudged as the Central Bank Governor of the Year. Now, the Private Enterprise Federation is pushing for a tiered tax system for businesses, a move that would encourage more small businesses to meet their tax obligations. According to the Federation, the current tax regime is cumbersome and prevents small businesses from meeting their tax obligations. Now, this was contained in a survey carried out by the Survey Together with the SUA project, and our Sebun, who is Chief Executive of the Private Enterprise Federation.
The findings were that businesses were finding it difficult to pay their taxes, basically for various reasons. One is the tax laws don't allow them to understand and appreciate what they need to do. Two, the tax rate is so high that they cannot afford to pay. Recommendation is for us to create a tiered tax system using turnover, not net income as such. Turnover as if you do business, your sales receipt, what is it that you get? If that's the case, if you 90,000 up to one cedi to 90,000 cedis, you pay maybe 1,500 Ghana cedis a year, and that's it. Nobody's going to harass you. Nobody's going to worry you.
Nana Sebun, Chief Executive of the Private Enterprise Federation, and that's all for Business on Newsnight.
Yes, smiling because of the story that's coming up later. The president has confessed and precisely going
to he confirmed the fact that he's an honorary daddy as well.
We hear. Thank you very much for the latest from the world of business. Let's do some of your messages. They wish they were the ones. It didn't happen.
King Tantra Hill says, is the former MP the only one to have gone independent? The MPP should give us a break. This is Prempen Legon says, the call by PNT's flag bearer for smaller parties to join hands for a strong third force would have been the best, but varieties of political ethos, ideologies, and selfish interests will be the challenging factor.
Eche Nakachi says, so to whom is GCAA complaining they should go ahead and sue Lands Commission? Kojo Amia in Kumasi says, no security can offer protection to any person who falls into an ambush like the MP did. MP security is in their own hands.
No single Ghanaian is happy about the manner in which we lost some members of parliament. They should consider vivid measures to protect all of us in the countly. Charles sent us that one. This one from East Legon has no name. It says the security of the country should be paramount to the MPs than theirs, and they not representing us? Why should they be self-centered? As for Deputy Defense Minister, I'm not surprised of his comments.
Well, we'll take the final one from Sami in Kumasi. He says Deputy Defense Minister should have rather directed his anger at their own ineptitude for finding solution to insecurity in the country rather than ranting at journalists, at the MPs. Okay, so it goes on at some of your messages that you've sent in via WhatsApp. Thank you so much. You can keep them coming in. This is Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM.
Well, the Deputy Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, has described some comments made by MPP MP Kennedy Ejapon as scandalous.
Now, these comments are the subject of a pending contempt case against the MP. The Supreme Court today ruled that the case is transferred to a different High Court judge after Mr. Ejapon's lawyers accused the judge hearing the case of being hostile. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has the rest of the story.
Everything is fine and there should be no trouble or unnecessary speculation.
A member of Mr. Japon's legal team, Afenya Markin, had earlier described the trial presided over by Justice Wuni as healthy when they appeared before him at the High Court.
There is a trial going on. Parties are having a healthy exchange. There is a healthy exchange between the bar and the bench. We have had a healthy engagement and we would want to maintain that.
The legal team on Wednesday, however, accused the judge of being hostile. They said he had indicated he was a live wire and would electrocute the MP since he had touched him. They also said the comments the MP made referred to another judge and not Justice Wuntauni. They urged the court to stop him from hearing the case. Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame opposed the application by Mr. Japon's lawyers. He said the application assumes that the mere separation of the High Court into divisions makes it different. He argued there is only one High Court and can take up any matter of contempt. He therefore urged the court to dismiss the application, describing it as unmeritorious. He, however, reminded the court that it had the power to grant the application if it finds that in the course of the contempt proceedings at the High Court, due process was not followed. The 5-member panel comprising Justices Bafo Boni, Yao Apawu, Gabriel Paman, Amadou Tanko, and Yoni Kulendi ruled that the case be transferred to a different judge. A member of the legal team, Afenya Markin, says they have indicated.
At the hearing, you realize that the court itself took note of the emphasis we placed on paragraph 19 of our affidavit in support. And all of you were at the High Court. You were witnesses to proceedings, including matters that I would not want to make reference to. But we respect the court system, and we believe that at the end of the day, what we want is for justice to manifest. And that is all we want.
That's course correspondent Joseph Akable's report, and that's Afenya Marking ending that report. It's time now for sports. Baba Tando has the very latest. Babs, what's in sports?
Between the National Paralympic Committee of Ghana and the Sports Ministry. Now, the National Paralympic Committee of Ghana has expressed displeasure at the ministry's criteria laid out to select one of its members onto the 2023 Africa Games LOC. A 9-member committee was sworn into office yesterday by the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, to steer the affairs of Ghana's hosting of and participation in Africa's biggest multi-sport event. The National Paralympic Committee was infuriated by its omission from the LOC and subsequently petitioned the President, Nana Addo. The Sports Ministry responded, nominating a member of the NPC onto the LOC, but with conditions. Samson Dean is president of the NPC Ghana, and he explains what he thinks the reasons for the conditions are.
It's looking for a loophole. They are looking for people they can control, people they will not listen to. I think that what the minister has done is looking for people they will manage, not people who will come and work. He is not looking for people who can confront him with issues. You see, the letter we wrote to the president, it has indicated to him that we don't fear. You see, we have been silent, we have been quiet, we have been crying, and this time I will fight it.
Mr. Samson Dean also believes this is pure discrimination against para-athletes.
If the minister insists that this is what he wants to see, headed by me, Samson Dean, will not succumb to it, then it means that the minister do not want to have the NPC, the Paralympic Committee, on the LOC. That's all.
How far do you want to drag this?
So they make sure that we are on board, and we should be on board.
And these are his conditions?
These are his conditions. He must change it. The conditions are not clearer. He did not use the same conditions for GOC.
Why are you singling out the GOC? Because it's not the LOC is not just made up of the GOC.
Yeah, the sports, the activity is for the two of us. It's for Olympic and Paralympic. I'm telling you, this is a discrimination against. You see, this is what we call racism. Pure racism is what the minister is.
I think discrimination will fit more, not racism.
Pure discrimination. Baba, just tell him, why is he giving us requirement? He should have left it for us to decide. He can't decide for us.
Mr. Samson Dean is president of the National Paralympic Committee of Ghana. You can find more reactions and details of other stories on myjoyonline.com/sport. You are up to date in the world of sport. My name is Baba Tando.
And this is your election headquarters.
And Mustafa Hamid says the massive rejection of John Mahama during his campaign tours has compelled the party to resort to the spreading of fake news. He says the NDC has set various news websites to hoodwink the electorate, create a false sense of insecurity, and also cause disaffection for government to salvage their plummeting defeat. He's been speaking at a news conference.
It's important that we draw the Ghanaian people's attention to the fact that in the last weeks to the election, many of such concoctions, fabrications, inventions are going to be generated with the sole purpose of making the government look bad. It was therefore not surprising that leading NDC operatives started referencing this fake news portal as the source for the alleged blacklisting of Ghana by the European Union. Consequently, a statement has been issued by the head of EU's delegation to Ghana debunking these naked allegations as lies. Perhaps what is most shocking and what amounts to throw all decency to the wind is when a lawyer of so many years standing and a legislator of Ghana's parliament, for that matter, my own brother from Tamale, lawyer Idris Husseini, goes public to repeat these fabrications that the NDC itself had generated and put into the public space. It is amazing how politics can get people to jettison the ethics of their profession. Because quite frankly, lawyers are amongst the people that command respect, because the law profession itself is basically a profession of logic. It's a profession of logical thinking. It's a profession of evidence. And it is a profession of knowledge. So really and truly, for a lawyer of such reputable standing to just latch on something that he knows within his heart is an obvious fabrication and concoction.
That's the Deputy Campaign Manager of the NPP, Dr. Mustafa Hamid. Well, we're still staying here at the election headquarters, and the opposition NDC is promising to create enough jobs in both the public and private sectors if they're giving the mandate in this year's general election. Speaking at a news briefing to throw more light on its ambitious plan to create at least 1 million jobs within 4 years if elected, Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, said the party had identified numerous vacancies through its HR gap analysis and will fill them if elected.
The public sector is not choked at all, and that our public service institutions are not operating at optimal level. For instance, the HR gap analysis revealed that the Ghana Police Service requires a total of 35,020 additional personnel to enable the service operate at the optimal internationally required ratio of 1 police officer to 450 civilians. What this means is that Ghana Police Service currently has an additional 35,020 vacancies that needs to be filled. Our analysis of the Educational Management Information System, what is called MS data, revealed 98,750 vacancies in the Ghana Education Service. This fact is corroborated by ample anecdotal evidence of lack of teachers and teaching staff in so many schools across the country.
That's the Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi.
And so on the campaign trail, we have delivered about 80% of promises made to Ghanaians and therefore deserve a renewal of our mandate. That's Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as he told the governing MPP's Ashanti region stronghold to canvass for support ahead of the December 7 elections.
Now, he's been speaking on Kumasi-based Pure FM. Dr. Bawumia said the NPP is unmatched in the delivery of campaign promises.
Almost 80% of our promises have either been delivered or we are delivering on those. So, you're fulfilling most of our promises. Okay. Well, so, yes, I know that we hope and expect Ghanaians will keep faith in the government of the MPP. And
well, away from the MPP, let's focus on the opposition. National Democratic Congress once more, and former President John Mahama is in the central region for a 5-day tour. A while ago, he interacted with the fishing community at Nyanyano and promised a massive salt production industry when elected.
Manifesto, the People's Manifesto.
Our manifesto is called the People's Manifesto. One of our major plans is job creation. It is not right for the youth to graduate from tertiary and still be jobless for the parents who sent them to school to take care of them. Then what is the importance of going to school? So when the NDC is elected into power, one of the policies is to create jobs for the youth.
That's the former President John Dramani Mahama. Now, I'm sure that you're getting ready to buy another house, right? Why are you laughing?
Amen.
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 So for myself, I'm
you
trying
are in
to
the
get
spirit.
For myself, I'm trying to get a mortgage for my birthday. So it will happen at
for the third house.
Habitat Fair. Which one?
For the third house.
Okay, so let's hear from the head of mortgage business at the Republic Bank, Frank Oponyeboa, and Executive Secretary of Grader, Samuel Mamagaibo, speaking about mortgages and how you can get it. He's been speaking on the Super Morning Show.
I think the circumstances matter a lot. But if you can build on your own, the problem with it is that what is your cash flow? And if you did mortgage, for me, is the best. First of all, you can have liquidity to do other things and have softer terms to pay gradually. And then with the mortgage, you can get access to the building immediately. I mean, depending on your own flow with the mortgage company about the requirements. If you meet the requirements, you can get access to the building now and enjoy it over the period.
So, make a date. The Habitat Fair starts this Friday, and so it's one of those one-stop shops for you to go. Of course, and tonight we are talking about housing. The housing sector debate is on the Manifesto tracker, and we have the housing minister who is going to be with us. He works in housing minister, Tasha, and we have the minority spokesperson on housing as well, Emmanuel Bedra, joining us for a debate after the analysis that we'll do with the money.
And that's it for tonight's edition of Newsnight. But just before we go, we'll leave you with this. President Akufo-Addo has conferred on Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, Presec Legon, the undisputed kings of the national science and maths quiz, and they are preparing for the 7th. We see if Aquinas can do that. And I am Emefa.
And my name is Mensah.
And after that, we bring you Strong and Sassy. We're doing mastectomy and so what. Basically, tonight's show is about survivors and not making breast cancer define them.
The school has become, for me and for many Ghanaians,